back to my channel, Food with Chanel. You already know the vibes. If you're not subscribed already, then make sure you subscribe, click that notification bell, follow all my socials, Chanel A. Wallace on TikTok and Food with Chanel on Instagram and YouTube, of course. Today's video is a little bit more of a like, just cook dinner with me sort of thing, because one, you know, I know a lot of you want the oxtail and all that, and it's a lot, yeah? Oxtail is expensive, so when it's the right time, oxtail will get cooked and all these things. But today, I kind of just wanted to make a dish that I make quite often if I need to make dinner and I want it to be nice and I want it to be flavours. In England, we'd call it a roast dinner because you've got roast chicken, roast potatoes and a bit of vegetables and some gravy, basically. I'm going to call it a chicken dinner just because it's not got all the components of an iconic roast dinner. And I'm actually filming this on Thanksgiving, so happy Thanksgiving to all of my US followers and supporters. I love you guys. I'm very thankful for you all, so I hope you all are enjoying the holiday season. And you know, if you're watching this tomorrow, the day after Thanksgiving, with your leftovers, then, you know, sit back, relax, watch your girl cook up something nice. The ingredients list will always be in the description down below. Let's cook some dinner. We've got some chicken thighs here with the skin on. This has already been cleaned as well. And a top tip, because I know a lot of you are going to say, can you show how you clean chicken with the skin on? When you're clean it exactly the same way. So take off any excess fat or excess skin that don't need to be there. Hold your piece of chicken and get a knife and scrape in the opposite direction to get all those hairs off, and then basically you're good. And then apart from that, we've got some potatoes over here and some broccoli and carrots here, some onions and some garlic. Of course, we've got our seasonings here, some chicken seasoning, everyday seasoning or all-purpose seasoning, it doesn't really matter to be fair. Some black pepper. Basically, we got everything lined up, do you know what I mean? Make sure your hands are clean. Always some gloves. You know, I've not got on gloves today, but it's fine. But yeah, let's get straight into seasoning it. So the first thing we're going to do is add some chicken seasoning, and I'm actually going to use a teaspoon just so that it helps. You can use, I preferably like to use Dunn's River or Jamaica Valley as per. So I'm actually going to add 2 teaspoons of this. And then we're going to use Dunn's River everyday seasoning. You can also use all-purpose seasoning, it doesn't really matter. They're both pretty much the same thing. So add a teaspoon of that. Then you want to go in with some black pepper and add a teaspoon of that. Then you want to add some garlic granules. Mine's pretty much nearly finished, so I'm going to add the whole thing in, but add half a teaspoon of that. Then you want to add some dried rosemary. That will be about half a teaspoon of that as well. And then you want to also add some dried thyme, and that will be about half a teaspoon as well. And then also, before I forget, I've got to go into the cupboard for this one. My go-to, some Maggi Liquid Seasoning. Add about 1.5 tablespoons of that. It just brings everything together, basically. I use it in like practically every single recipe. And then that is it. You're just going to season this up. As always, you can let this marinate for a couple hours if you like. You can let it marinate overnight if you like. Totally up to you. But if you're cooking it straight away, again, it's totally fine. This one is a go-to recipe of mine, so I know that it will be good just as well as if we'd also let it marinate. It would just be better if you let it marinate. Okay, so once you've got every bit of chicken coated like so, you're just going to rest it to the side, and then we're going to prepare our roasting tin or roasting tray or whatnot to put our chicken in. Okay, so now I've got my oven on 170 degrees Celsius. I'm not sure how much that is in Fahrenheit, but I'll do the conversion anyway. And then I've just got a baking tray which I've lined with foil. You'll understand why. once the chicken's finished cooking, or once it's like in the process of cooking. You'll get why I do that. And then you just want to get your chicken and put it on the tray. Simple. Simple as that. I told you guys this is already going to be a very simple recipe. So just put your chicken on the tray. It should all fit on one tray, which is good. And then literally 170 for about, what we want to do is basically make it get nice and brown first, and then we're going to turn it down so it will stay juicy and release all the juices which we will use in our gravy. So put it in for 170. I'm going to check on it after about 30 minutes. So yeah, 170 for 30 minutes, and then we're going to check on it. And then the next thing, don't get rid of this bowl. Keep this bowl, and then just literally pour the onions in there that you chopped up earlier. That should have been about half of a small onion. Just give it a light mix in the seasoning, but when you need it, or when you're about to cook the onions, you'll stir it again with a wooden spoon in this bowl anyway, and it will just take all those excess seasonings off when we cook it for the gravy. If you're wondering what the garlic is for, this is for the roast potatoes, which we're going to put on to boil now. So here I've got about 4 large potatoes which I've chopped into quarters in some cold water. So now I'm going to put some boiling water and some salt, and I'm going to parboil these. It should take about 20 minutes, but you need to basically check on it though. So it's not going to be completely mush, it's not going to be completely soft, it's just going to be in the middle basically, but you guys will see. So we're going to put these on to boil now, and then we're also, what we're going to do with our vegetables here, so as you can see I've cut the carrots quite big, and I know you're probably thinking, why are they so big? Because these are going to be honey roasted honey. They're going to taste delicious. The broccoli is going to be steamed with some butter and a little bit of water and salt. So yeah, but they're going to be done later. You don't need to worry about that right now. So yeah, for now, potatoes on the boil. Get your kettle boiling, wash these again, and then put them on to boil. Okay, so as you guys can see, I've got my potatoes in some hot water with salt. Our other veg is over there, but don't worry about that for now. So we're just going to parboil these for about 15 minutes, max 20 max, but I've even not got it on the highest heat. I've got it on like a medium heat, so I may even turn it down slightly, because you really don't want to cook these too quickly, and we're in no rush right now. So leave it on like a medium low heat. We're going to check on it in 10 minutes, 10 to 15 minutes. Now what your girl also decided to do, I decided to make myself a cup of tea because I'm parched right now. Yeah, I've not eaten since morning. Got yourself a little sandwich there. Yeah, I had to make a cup of tea. You guys already know I can't function when I've not got my tea ready. So whilst everything else is going on, I'm going to chill with a nice cup of tea. Okay, so silly me boiled them for too long. These are actually like if I was going to make mashed potato now, or maybe just under. So I've left them in for probably like 5 minutes too long. So I would say boil it for like 10 minutes rather than like 15. Yeah, because these potatoes cooked very quickly. So I'm going to be very careful and drain these off, and you guys are going to see basically. Chanel's going to work with it. Okay, so I've taken the chicken out, and that chicken skin is nice and crisp. That's what we want. So as you can see, the chicken is still nice and juicy, crispy skin. Let me pick up a bigger piece. Yeah, see, nice and juicy, but the skin is crispy. And the reason why, as I said, we put the foil on is so that I can drain out all that chicken juice and put it into a separate pan. So I'm literally going to do that now as well. Okay, so the potatoes look like this. They shouldn't really break up so easily. So that's where I went wrong. So basically you won't cook it for as long, but don't worry, your girl's gonna rectify these. So I'm gonna leave these to cool down a little bit. I want them to almost like stop cooking. So I'm just gonna put those to the side. And then with our chicken here, we're literally just going to tilt this to the side and put our gravy in a separate pan. Well, gravy, call it chicken stock basically. All those chicken juices, just gonna pour them into a separate pan like this. And then we'll leave a little bit of the juice in there, but literally just a little bit, you won't even really notice it. And you're gonna push the chicken down to one side. And then those carrots, I'm gonna literally put those here because we're gonna glaze everything with honey, including the chicken. And we're gonna turn down the heat to about 160. The chicken won't take that much longer to cook, so the chicken will be removed from the pan really. But the carrots, they need some time. So what we're gonna do, just put a bit of pepper onto the carrots. And then what I've got some honey here. And I'm literally just going to drizzle it over the carrots. And then you can just give it a little mix around. It doesn't need to be perfect, it just almost needs to, again, drizzle it over it. Don't like go crazy. And then what I'm also gonna do is drizzle some of this honey onto the chicken as well. It gives it a nice flavour, not too much, so about just under a teaspoon really. And then to make it easier for yourself, you can just get a little brush and brush your veggies, and then you can just brush your chicken, and it's going to give the chicken a nice glaze to it. And get some of that honey there and just coat the chicken. And then yeah, we're going to put this back in. I've even just thought of an amazing idea, because this chicken is basically nearly done, so it's just going to need probably about 10 more minutes to just allow that honey to really soak into it, or 10 to 15 more minutes at 160. Okay, so our potatoes, now I just realized technically I can't really start the potatoes until the chicken is done, and the next process of the potatoes is very, not crucial, but it's best that you do it just before you're about to put them in. So I'm going to let them to cool down, leave them to cool down for a bit longer. So I'm just going to put them to the side, and then we're going to work on our gravy. So those onions that you had sitting to the side, we're going to now use them. So in the back, I've got a pan here with some butter just melting down so that we can fry our onions. And as I said, I'm changing this up slightly a bit. Like how it's a quick recipe, normally if I was making roast chicken, you'd kind of like work on the gravy for a bit longer, you know, you'd have more juices from the chicken. So this is me now improvising with what I have. So once the butter starts to melt, we're going to get the onions from earlier and literally just put them in so that you can soften those up. So you just want to soften up these onions. So you can keep it on a low heat Doesn't need to be too high. And this will just take you a few minutes just to soften it up in the butter. It should be about a tablespoon of butter, maybe a tablespoon and a half. And it's also cooking out that seasoning on the onions as well. After a few minutes, when your onions look like this and are nice and soft, what you want to do is get this stock from earlier and just pour it all in. And keep this pan, don't get rid of it yet. Don't get rid of it yet, and just let those onions begin to cook down in that stock. I'm also going to add a chicken stock cube, a whole one. And I know you're probably thinking, stock cube and stock. If you want your gravy and you want it full of flavour, you can literally add either a stock cube, or what else do I add to it normally? Well, yeah, a stock cube and the stock from the chicken. And then you're also going to see what else I'm going to do in a second. Then as it starts to reduce down, we're just going to add a little bit of water in at a time, and we're going to turn the heat up. We just don't want it to reduce down too much and start to burn, so we just continue to add a bit of water and mix it in again. Add a bit more. Mix again. Once it looks like that, just let it continue to do its thing for a couple of minutes. What we're going to do is add a spoon of chicken gravy granules. Again, do not knock it until you try it, especially if you want something quick. I'll add another half in there, so a tablespoon and a half. And then mix that on the heat quickly so that you can work it in before any lumps start forming. And then ta-da! There goes the main base to your chicken gravy. I need to add some more water to it so it doesn't get too thick. And then literally just keep on doing this until the consistency is to your liking. I'm going to move these because they are in the way. Yep, and just keep mixing it and adding water when you need to. Turn it down low now because it doesn't need to be high anymore. Add a bit more water to it. Just mix it around. This for me is still a bit too thick, and you've also got to be mindful that you've added a stock cube, so you don't want it to be too salty. So just add a bit more water and then let the gravy just kind of do its thing for a bit. Now we just want to let it all work together whilst we focus on our other things, which is our chicken should be ready to come out now. So let's take out our chicken. Okay, so as you guys can see, we've got our chicken in the back, and I've got a tray lined with some baking paper. So what we are going to do is we're going to pour some vegetable oil all over it. Need some more oil. So be generous with the oil, but don't go crazy. So you just want like a layer of oil onto it. And then what you want to do is put this in the oven to get hot. Now me personally, I like to put it in at about 180 for about 2 to 3 minutes, no hotter than that, because if you do it for too long and it gets too hot, you've got a fire hazard on your hands. Okay, so just put it in like this for about 2 to 3 minutes until the oil is hot, basically. Meanwhile, we're going to work on our potatoes. So what we're going to do, we're going to get some plain flour first of all, and we're going to add a tablespoon of plain flour to the potatoes. Just shake it all over them. If you're wondering why is this a thing, tablespoon and a half. If you're wondering why this is a thing, it's going to give it a nice crispy outside layer to the potatoes. Okay, so just add the flour, some ground white pepper, and a sprinkle of celery salt. Again, I'll put exact measurements in the description below. Then you want to get the lid, put it on, and obviously I will need to shake it quite gently. If you've parboiled them, you won't need to be so gentle, but I'm just gonna give these a little toss, and then voila, that's what your potatoes should look like, just coated in everything. And then you want to carefully, very carefully take out your tray, because this oil is hot now, and you want to add a few cloves of garlic to the pan with the skin on so that they don't burn. And then you want to get these potatoes and just gently use this as a little shield so that you don't get burnt with the oil. And you just want to put that onto there, move them around a bit. My oil should have probably been a little bit hotter, but it's fine. And then literally, also another tip, get some fry light or some cooking spray and spray the top layer so that they've got some oil as well. Put these back into the oven, 180. It should take about 30 to 35 minutes, maybe 40 minutes. And we're also going to put back in the carrots as well. Okay, so the carrots, they actually aren't going to take that long, so I've actually decided to wait until our potatoes are nearly done, and then we're going to put the carrots back in. So what I'm going to do with our chicken now, as you can see, let me give you a close-up of that. Let me even pick one up. Nice and juicy, you can already see. Pick another one. Delish. That's exactly what we want. And don't flip these, because if you flip them, it's just not going to have the same effect. You keep it on one side, let that skin get that glaze, and then what we're going to do, this is what I do sometimes just to make that gravy a bit more flavoursome. Put the chicken into that gravy that we made earlier. Now add that extra juice in, minus the carrots. Once I've added that extra juice in, I'm just going to leave it on a low heat. It's going to need a little bit more water in that gravy though, just to thin it out a bit. Give it a little shake, or better yet, get your spoon and just move it around. And you don't coat the chicken with the gravy, just let the chicken sit. And just make sure it's all worked in with that extra water that we just added into it. And then just leave it like that, uncovered, on low. Let it just do its thing slowly, okay? I'm also now going to get rid of this and put on our veggies. Very simple, you already know. Just steam these and add some butter to the pan. Okay, so my broccoli is on. The chicken is still on, but it's on a very low heat. I'm actually going to turn it off soon. I added a little bit more water, so make sure, basically taste your sauce, see if it's too thick. If it's too thick, add a little bit more water in there, because that's what mine needed. Okay, and then as for our potatoes, you can probably hear the potatoes are making hella noise. That's what you want. That bubble in there, that's exactly what you want. So let that crisp up. Check on it after about, I don't know, after about 15 minutes. And yeah, this will be ready to turn off very soon. So as for the chicken, once you've put it in the gravy, once you're happy with your gravy, it's not too thick, not too thin, gradually add a bit more water in. That's what I did as well. So basically the skin needs to be above the gravy. Okay, so that should be your mark for how much water needs to be in there. We're also going to put our carrots back in. So in about 15 minutes, we'll be ready to go. Our chicken is ready. Look at that. You already know that looks sweet and delicious and just and don't be fooled. The honey hasn't made it so sweet that if you're not a person that likes sweet food, you can't handle it. It's all balanced out. The salt, the pepper, everything in this all balances out, trust me. Potatoes are done. I've got the carrots and the broccoli actually in the oven so that I can warm them up as well. So I'm just going to take out my potatoes here. Got a few crispy ones, that's what we like. And just literally get all of those potatoes into a dish for when you're ready to serve them. These could really go in for like maybe another, I don't know, another 10 minutes, 5 minutes max. But your girl is eager. Your girl is eager. Look at that. That's what you want. That flour, that's what it does. It gives it that nice crispy edge. We've got a couple of crispy ones that we can add. Obviously we've got our roast potatoes there, and then we've got our chicken just reheating. So it's time to plate up, guys. And here we have it, guys. Our chicken dinner. We've got our glazed carrots and broccoli there. We've got our roast chicken in the gravy over there, and we've got our nice crispy roast potatoes there. Let's get this on a plate and try it, because Lord knows, honey, I'm excited for this. So let's just get some of these nice roast potatoes on the plate. Potatoes there. Then we're just going to add some greenery. Of course, we've got to get our veggies in. And then we're going to add some of these glazed carrots that I am enjoying looking at, because I'm definitely about to enjoy those. And then let me just pop that on top of there. And we've got to make room for our chicken here. Let me get a spoon. Piece of chicken to go on that. Look at that. Just put that right there. And then we're going to get one more piece. It's a 2-piece dinner. Like that. Pour it all around that. I didn't even mean to pour it on it, but I couldn't help it, guys. I couldn't help it. And there we go. Our chicken dinner. Roasted glazed chicken cooked in gravy with roast potatoes, broccoli and glazed carrots. You guys already know that I want to try this, so let's just get straight into it, guys. Come on, let's do this. We got there in the end. We've got our chicken, our glazed carrots, broccoli and roast potatoes. I might need to even get in a bit closer so you guys can really see, but look at that. How delicious does this look? I don't even think I gave you guys a close-up of the food. Hold on. What do you guys think? I'm excited, I can't even lie. As you guys can see, we've got our chicken here, our potatoes there, our vegetables there. You already know the vibes. The whole thing is looking righteous. I've got to show you guys like this because we ain't got a little situation to be able to sit down and really eat right now, so this is the way we're going to do it. So the first thing we're going to get is one of those potatoes. As you can see, nice and crisp. That's what the flour does. And then because they're soft and fluffy on the inside, actually, you know what, I'm even going to get some chicken first. So if you just look at the chicken on that side and then look at it on this side, you already know it's about to go down. I'll give you guys that with the potato because I know that's what you want. So let's get the potato and let's give it a go. Let's try it before that drops. Look at that. Look at all of that. You're telling me that don't look delicious with the gravy dripping? Wow. Wow. I need to try this carrot as well. Hold on, let me get it together. Look, let me get you a bite of the whole thing. I haven't even had the broccoli, but broccoli is broccoli, you know? Look at that. That's everything you want, really, in a nice, wholesome bite, holiday season. You know, it's winter, it's cold outside. That's what you need right there. The chicken is really juicy. It's super juicy. That's what we like. We only like juicy chicken around here, guys, okay? The honey, the salt, the pepper, everything just goes together very well. Very well. Sorry, I had to fix it here because I'm hot. You already know your girl gets hot in the kitchen. If you want to make this with ease, you know, you're not going to be filming like I am, so you're not going to be all flustered and whatever. In an hour, you can turn this out. Put that chicken on, same time do your potatoes, put the potatoes in with the chicken. Literally, you can get this done in an hour. It won't take you no time. You could make this for Sunday dinner. You could make it for a midweek dinner. It's one of those meals that's a go-to meal for me if I want something that tastes that's how it needs to taste, and this is it, because that chicken with the glaze on along with everything else on that plate, it's crazy. I'm just letting you know. Try it. Let me know what you think. Drop a comment down below if you liked this one. Share it with a friend. Subscribe. Let me know if you're a new sub. I see you guys. Remember to follow me on all my socials. You already know the vibes. Chanell A. Wallace on TikTok and Food with Chanell on YouTube and Instagram. Also, happy Thanksgiving to all those celebrating Thanksgiving in America and worldwide. We could have a few US supporters in the UK, so you know, love to you guys, love to all your families, and again, thank you so much for supporting me, my content, and for, you know, supporting the food, because you already know the vibes. It's good vibes only around here. I'm gonna go and enjoy my dinner because, you know, your girl just needs to go and indulge, because yeah, see you in the next video.